Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for Friday. Friday the 4th of June, the current time is 8:30. Pretty mixed night last night, but overall quite positive. The Dow just etched out a small gain. S&P and Nasdaq also small gains. Commodities were very, very mixed. We had some good performance from the energy sector again. Natural gas soaring quite significantly on the back of Obama statements. We also saw crude oil trade higher. Some of the other primaries, copper down a little bit, and gold also came under pressure as the US dollar firmed. Anyway, let's have a look at a little bit of a wrap now. And there we go. There we go. As I mentioned, the Dow was up 5.74 points. S&P was up 5 and a bit, and the Nasdaq up 21. Not a bad little close for America. We've got the jobs report at the moment, and that's due out tonight, so that's going to be the key indicator as to whether or not the US recovery is on track. We did get a good set of data last night for manufacturing as well, or factory orders, so that is the big key. The key, and I suppose all week we've seen positive data out of the US, and we just want to see that reiterated by a good number. Now, the key is the market will factor in good positive numbers. The key is whether or not it'll be not as large as expected, but they're things we're going to have to try and cope with. But at the moment, I expect the market to remain relatively bid leading into those unemployment numbers. Okay, so obviously Americas were all up. Europe presented us with an interesting picture, still quite positive there. The Stoic was up 32 at 26.34. FTSE was up 59, the DAX was up 73, and the CAC was up 55. The local market on SICOM, that had a good night. There it is, 448, and that was pretty steady on what occurred last night, actually only down 6 points. So that in itself was quite positive. Okay, let's move on now and just run through just some of the trades we've been looking at, and also some of the general commodities, which is good. Now let's move that across there, put that there. There we go. Okay. Dollar index. Now this is really interesting, something we've all been following for some time, and as you can see, it's been behaving very well in this pennant here. Now this sort of pennant is one where you can say there's a triple top. It's still trading in this range. It hasn't broken up, and you can really see by here that the dollar is in a range. I take out that side. I'm hearing targets that people are expecting that US dollar to firm dramatically, and I'm hearing sort of upwards of on the dollar index 90. Now let's see how and why it's going up to that area. At the moment, you know, it bounces quite well off every low, so there is an appetite for US dollars. And if the US economy is recovering, then you'll find that people will be better bid in terms of wanting to get a handle on US dollars and investment in US dollars. Also, concerns on interest rates moving up, you know, it will also aid the US dollar. So keep an eye on this. We're going to keep a close eye on this dollar index here because we are short dollars at the moment, long Aussie, short dollars, and also long euro. Now the Aussie's okay, because we're quite happy with what's happening there at the moment. Euro is a concern, and let's have a look at that chart on the euro because we have got positions there which I'm not 100% happy with. But as you can see, it's similar to the dollar index, and it's just moving sideways. So let's see how it all unfolds. It hasn't told us what it wants to do yet. Still in a range, so we've adopted a little bit of ice in the belly there on all the positions in the currencies. Okay. So that's the US dollar, dollar index, and the Aussie we've looked at. Let's have a quick look at that Aussie. And there we go. Aussie there, as you can see, trading sideways. Had a good move last night, which I was comfortable with, all the way up through that 85. A lot of people took profits on positions at 85. I'm still actually long, but I think I can put my stop below there through that 84.18 on the long position, and that seems to be quite good. So Aussie, as we said, goes up the stairs, and this is exactly what it's doing, very slowly, but slowly etching out some gains. Okay, let's have a look at crude. As you know, crude on the Twitter we put out, we like the trade. It's been really good, volatile still, but so far it's been quite supportive economic recovery. The numbers out of the States were relatively supportive as well. Although we got a little bit of a shakeout, we're still long, and in my mind there, that movement through 75 is something that we looked at, and we sort of still remain core long. our positions, although the volatility is always a concern. We need to see a break of 75, 20, 30 in order to add some more positions on the top side. So let's see how that goes. Copper was a little bit disappointed and a little bit disappointed in how that traded. We've got a very, very small, tiny position, in fact, and on the back of that, we're sort of seeing how it behaves around these lows here, but time will tell. Now, one big mover last night, and have a look at this one, natural gas. Now, this is important because with the natural gas markets, obviously Obama has turned around and sort of with the concerns that we've got in terms of the spill, that the cleaner resource or the cleaner energies are going to be adopted. And as you can see, look at that movement. That's the hourly chart. Phenomenal move. And I think the market will focus on these cleaner energies. And as a result of that, we can see this natural gas start to really do some damage to the top side. Now, we've got a floor in place, so expect it up through 5 pretty soon. But that natural gas is an absolute screamer. Anyway, let's see how that goes. If you need more of a comment on how that's operating and what's happening there in that natural gas, then certainly let me know. Okay, so that's on those. All of our other bits and pieces are pretty stable. The wheats, the corns, and the soyas. Soybean had a positive night, which was okay, 9.56 and a quarter, and hopefully that's the end of that consolidation because we are long soyas and would like to see that pick up. Very important trend that we're following there, and as you can see, I like this sort of consolidation here. When you look at these sorts of charts, you can see that the consolidation does look quite good. As long as it holds above there, I can see it actually trading up through 1200, so I've got quite a bullish view there. Local markets in itself just relatively steady, and obviously yesterday was quite positive. Today, let's see how we trade, but generally overall, I expect a bit of a positive night tonight, and we'll take it from there on that. Economic numbers, obviously non-farm payroll will be the key tonight. The market will not do a hell of a lot until we see that number come out. And there we are, Eurozone, but there we are, changing non-farm payrolls. Better numbers here, better numbers there, and a better number there for the unemployment rate. So let's see how we go. It could be quite an interesting night, as it always is on Friday. So don't spend too much time in the pub. Focus on the markets, and let's see if we can do some damage. Anyway, that's about it from me. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.